Okay, I was at school when I started smoking, and I think that was because I was subject to a peer group. They didn't pressurise me, but because everyone else was doing it, I tried it, and you know, it was more of a social thing.
I guess it depends who you hang around with as well. If you hang around with smokers, then you tend to smoke more, and if you don't, then you don't. I suppose it's kind of a social thing.
Someone didn't physically go, here, pin me down and say do this, but because everyone else was, I was young and naive and started doing it as well.
And for me, because I'm in a band, when like rehearsing and stuff in like a proper sweaty, horrible dark room, it's nice to have a kind of excuse to go outside and get some sunlight and fresh air, but ironically poison yourself at the same time. Bit of a hypocrisy, really.
I'm definitely worried about the health effects. It's been proven that it's very carcinogenic, gives you lung cancer and all these other illnesses.
I mean, for heavy smokers, obviously it's a bit more of a health issue depending on how they look at it. For me, 1 or 2 cigs a day and sometimes none is not that big of a health risk. You know, I have a granddad who's in his 70s who's doing alright, who smoked 40 a day for like 30 years, so I'm not too worried.
I don't think it's necessarily propaganda, the government putting it onto packets. I think they're genuinely trying to deter you. It's just a deterrent, that's all.
My question would be, if they're going to stamp, you know, all like horrible messages and pictures all over cigarette packets, then why don't we have double standards and put, you know, pictures of alcoholics on vodka bottles?
Alcoholism is definitely on par, if not worse, than nicotine addiction. I mean, it's a physical addiction, alcoholism. If you can't wean yourself off it, you actually become more ill. And yeah, I think it's liver problems and many other illnesses a result of alcoholism, and it also has social and family problems can result of alcoholism.
I've had alcoholics in my family that have died from that a lot earlier than they would have died from smoking, so in my opinion that's much worse, much more of an issue.
Well, what do you think about MMU being a smoke-free campus?
I definitely think it's a good thing, because if you're trying to quit, then you're not being associated around all the smokers, and I think it looks better on the school. Like if someone was coming to visit and there's big groups of people outside the entrances filling it up with smoke, then it doesn't look good. I think if you want a fag, you can just walk down the road a bit.
I personally think it's a bit patronising, really. People know that smoking isn't good for them, but you know, they make their own decisions. I don't see why we should not be able to smoke outside, like, and at the end of the day, I don't see anyone really going to enforce it that much, really, anyway. I don't imagine anyone to waste their time coming along and telling us not to smoke just because it makes the place look a bit untidy or something.
I don't think all the known smoking signs look any better, though. A big sign, I just think just leave it.
I agree with not smoking inside, because that's not fair on non-smokers. That makes sense to me. But not being able to smoke outside on campus is just kind of stupid.
Well, trying to quit is quite difficult. I managed to get down to maybe 2 or 3 a day now. I did try electronic cigarette, but I don't know, they just don't work that well, to be honest. It's definitely saving a lot of money now. I never really smoked that much before. There's a lot of people smoke 30, 40 a day. I was probably on about 10, but you definitely notice the your money.
The government seems to just really be into demonising the hell out of it, and I don't really understand why. I just think there's other stuff that they should be doing that's more serious, like hard drugs and, in some case, for some people, alcohol as well.